If it were me, we wouldn't be sisters no more. Cause what you mean you with my man? That's not my man. And you're marrying him. Girl, I would have been so mad, but you know, to each his own. Not everybody's like me. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Nira. If you're not, welcome back. And today's video is basically going to be a February TBR video. I did this last month in my welcome to booktube video, and I did it towards the end. But this video is going to be dedicated to all of the books that I plan on reading for the month of February. Usually when I pick books, I've been trying to be a little bit more deliberate about reading books that are off of my current bookshelf that you see behind me. As you can tell, we are in a completely different location. Well, not location, setup. I changed my room around so that it would be easier for me to film videos for you guys instead of being cooped up in a little corner. And you have a little bit better of I guess, view of my bookshelf and what is all on it. I do plan on doing a video at some point going through all the books that are on there that I own and I have read, but there are some books on there that I haven't read, and the goal this year is to read those books so that I can say that, okay, I've read all of the books that are on my current bookshelf. So then it's more justifiable for me to go buy books and have them on my bookshelf. They basically have earned a spot on my bookshelf, and I'm not just buying them and giving into consumerism and capitalism and just buying books just to buy books and make it look like I have this huge library, which is a goal eventually in my life, is to have a very big library. At the same time, I want to have books that I've actually read and not just have books on there because TikTok and BookTube and Bookstagram said that these books are fun to read and I haven't read them. I try to do my best to hold all these books so I can show you what I'm planning on reading. But these are all of the books. Now, disclaimer, two of them I already own because I bought them. Then there are two, not two, this thing is like four. Count, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe on here that I rented from my local public library. This is what I plan on reading. One of them I've already read, and I'll talk about when I get to that book and what it is about. But that is the goal for the month of February, is to read these. All of these books are by Black women authors. They are romance novels. I want to do it in honor of February. I love reading romance, and this just gives me even more of a reason to read it because it's February, it's Valentine's. And on top of that, it's Black History Month. And even though I will not only just be reading Black authors because of the fact that it's Black History Month, I'm reading it because it's Black History Month. And what better way to support than in a month that is dedicated to us and dedicated to our excellence and our beauty and our brains and our knowledge is to read Black owned books. You can't ever go wrong with that. So we're gonna kind of go through all books I have here, and I'm just gonna do them in order. I'm gonna show you what they look like, and then I'm gonna read to you a quick synopsis of what the book is about and how I feel about it and what I think I'm going to, I guess you could say, endure and love about the book. We're gonna start with the first one, which is The Roommate Risk. Now, this book particularly has been on my TBR for a long time. I actually have it pinned a bunch of times on my Pinterest in one of the boards that I have that's private, that's books I want to read. And this is the main one. I think I've pinned it at least 5 different times, to the point that Pinterest is like, you've already pinned this. Stop pinning it. And it's like, no, I'm going to pin it every time. Maybe if I pin it every time, then I'll read it. So this is something that I've been wanting to read for a minute. And how I found all of these books that are on here outside of one of them is I looked specifically on TikTok for books that, one, had spice in them, but they were Black, written by a Black author. The main character is Black, and potentially the main love interest is also Black. Simply because most of the romance books that I have read that are over here that sit on my bookshelf, most of the main characters have been white, and their protagonist, main lover you want to call, have also been white. So it's very refreshing to be able to read books that are, not that. The Roommate Risk is basically two best friends who have been friends for 7 years. They have one big summer of when I guess things really take a turn. We have Jasmine Allen, who basically just kind of goes with the flow. She loves one night things. She loves just having a good time. And then she ends up becoming homeless. Her best friend, I'm assuming his name is Raul. We're going to assume that's how it's pronounced. He has an apartment. She asks if she can come and live with him. He basically says yes. But the problem is he's always had a thing from her. He has 3 rules that he likes to follow. Don't look at her butt. Don't touch her if you don't have to touch her. And don't ever tell her you love her. But now that they live together, he's seeing her more and more. The feelings are, becoming more frequent and reminiscent. And it just kind of puts him in a weird predicament of whether or not he wants to take this risk to be with his best friend. I guess you could say the trope for this would be friends to lover, and I love a good friends to lover trope. You can't ever go wrong with it if it's written correctly, because there's some of them that are really cliche. I feel like this one hopefully is not going to be that. I think Leah Herbert Hibbert. I think she'll do a great job at this. This is my first time reading any books by her, so I'm really excited. Hopefully, if I really like this one, I'll read more books of hers because she has a few other books that have come up as recommendations when I was trying to get the bookstore copy of this, the like library. Only reason I ended up buying it is because they gave it to me through Libby, but I don't like reading books on my phone or my iPad, and I don't have a Kindle and I don't have a Nook, and I don't plan on it. I prefer to have the book. I know it's more convenient, but I just love having my books because I own them. They're mine. And I don't have to worry about licensing it because I paid money and it's technically not mine. I also technically got it for free because I used my cash back on Amazon. So it's a win-win for me. This book does have spice in it, so I'm just doing that disclaimer. Damn near all the books that are on here, so for one, should have spice in it. We have our good friends to lovers trope here. We have spice. And I guess you could say like long waiting love. So we'll go from there and see how that goes. Disclaimer, if the glare is bothering you from the fact that I have a light sitting here, I have done everything I can to not make it be this way. I promise I spent like 30 minutes trying to set up this setup and it still doesn't look right. So I'm so sorry if it's bothering you because it's bothering me. Okay, so the next book is All About Love, New Vision by Bell Hooks. This book has been on my bookshelf for technically 2 years. It'd be 2 years on my birthday because I got it in either 2023 or 2024. One of them is when I got the book. But I love Bell Hooks. I've read one of her other books. It's Ain't I a Woman? I read it my junior year of undergrad and I loved it. I read it in my Black Contemporary Writers class. I was the only Black woman in that class. That's a whole nother conversation for another day. But being able to read a book that specifically talks about Black women and how we are treated in society was really great. But then it was also very scary to do it in a class full of white women and one white guy. So you can imagine what that experience was like for me. But this book specifically, Bell Hooks talks about like the philosophical exploration of love as an act of transformative force, defining it as a verb that requires care, commitment, respect, and not just a feeling, which I feel the same way. Love is showing up every single day. It's not just looking at your person with like a look of love and being like, oh my God, I love you. No, you gotta like show it, like show that you love that person. And this is coming from someone who's in a relationship. I've been dating my partner for almost 3 years. So there's that. This book was published in 1999. So I'm gonna talk a lot about how I guess like how different things were back then, but also how she probably predicted some things from what's happening now, especially in society, since this book is almost technically 20 years old, because we're pushing 2029. Granted, it's 2026, where it's not that far away. But I'm excited to read it. This is probably gonna be the last book that I read for this month because I want to read all the other novels first and be able to kind of compare them with this book specifically, because also the way that people interpret love can be shown in very different ways, of the way that they write things, the way they view things, and you can see it a lot of times in the way that certain characters are being written, because it's essentially almost like a viewpoint of the writer. Characters become an extension of the writer depending on who they're writing, but that is a thing that happens, and I don't think people really pay attention to that, but it is a reflection of the writer. Now, our next book is When I Think of You by Maya Ariel. This is not the original cover for this book. It looks like this because I got it from, like I said, my library, my public library. This is also in a big text font. It's large print, so it looks bigger than what it is, but I promise this book is not this big. This book came out in 2024, so it's not even 2 years old yet, but it's about a former college sweethearts, Kalia and Danny, who reconnect in Hollywood when he offers her a job on his new film, forcing them to confront their past and choose between their careers and rekindle love. The story follows Kalia as an aspiring producer stuck in the dead-end job as she gets a chance to work with her ex, a rising director, leading to a workplace romance filled with Hollywood, politics, and personal growth. This book is supposed to have spice in it. I expect it to have spice because this is like, I guess you could say, ex-lovers to lovers. This is not a trope that you see a lot, but there are people who do write them. They can be done, I guess you can say, well, but then sometimes they can be done really cliche. It's all in the way that the writer writes it. I'm excited to read this one, but I'm not. I'm hoping that it exceeds my expectations. I don't know if I'm probably going to DNF it. I have a feeling that I will, but we gonna see. So our next book is Honey and Spice by, I think it's Bolu Boba Loa. I think that's how you say her name. That might be wrong. And I couldn't find anybody. Like, this is a book. It's really big. I don't know if the actual copy of the book is this big, but it is. This book is a contemporary romance novel about Kiki Banjo, a British Nigerian college student who runs a radio show giving feminist dating advice but avoids romance herself until she enters a fake relationship with a college campus heartthrob, Malachi Corday, I think that's how you say his name, for a project leading to a witty enemies to lover romance filled with humor, heart, and cultural depth. Now, this one, a little iffy about because I'm just not realizing that this is a fake dating. Sometimes fake dating works, sometimes it doesn't, and sometimes it's not believable. And I'm not a very big person on fake dating. I like that, like sneaking around and pretending we're not dating more than the fake dating. So hopefully this isn't bad. That's all I have to say. There is another book to this, and the intentions was to buy the other book that went with this, but I couldn't get it in time. So it might be something I'll read later on this year and enjoy. Now, this book here, which is Only for the Week by Natasha Bishop, I've already read it, but this is supposed to be the TBR for February. But I am going to discuss it whenever I review these books. Let's just say spice. Really good. Quick read. Get straight to the point. The plot points pretty much. I think her name starts with a J. That's all I can tell you. She ends up having a one week thing with her ex-boyfriend's best friend because her ex-boyfriend is marrying her sister. If it were me, we wouldn't be sisters no more. Because what you mean you with my man? That's not my man. And you're marrying him. Girl, I would have been so mad, but to each his own. Everybody's like, this is a good book. I'll talk about it more in my thing, and I probably might post a book review. Now, the last book that I have is 7 Days in June by Tia Williams. This book has been everywhere when I go to look at books as recommendations for what to read. Even when I was looking for what's the word I'm looking for? Suggestions for this. This is the main book that came up, and it is a steamy second chance romance novel about two Black authors, Ava Mercy and Shane Hall, who reconnect at a literary event after a passionate teenage fleeing 15 years prior, forcing them to confront their past trauma, addiction, chronic pain while navigating undeniable chemistry. Now, this one I think I'm going to like a lot because it's a second chance. There's 15 years that has come between this, and it talks about all different things outside of just romance. And you get to see how the person's actually changed over the years and not just stayed the same. I'm excited to read this. I think that's probably going to be my favorite read outside of the Roommate Risk. So we're going to see how that goes. Now, when you look at all the books that I chose for my February TBR, I know it seems like I didn't pick a lot of books. And yes, that is true. I didn't. Originally, I was going to do just poems, and then I realized that I didn't want to do that and I want to do it another time. But I want my TBRs to be achievable and I guess relatable. Lots of people you see on BookTube that will have like a stack full of books that they're trying to read. Like I said in my first video, I have a full-time job. I have other things that I do. I do not spend all my time just reading books. And sometimes when I come home, the last thing I want to do is look at a book and pick it up and read it. We keep things realistic here. We keep things real. This is doable for me, reading 5 books. I technically read 4 books last month. I'm only reading technically one more book than what I read from last month. And hopefully we can keep growing. We do get to a point that I can do that and I can read more. But realistically, I feel like 5 to 7 books is normal for me. I cannot speak for anybody else. And then also some of these people, I don't even want to be weird about it. They don't be reading the books for real. They be pretending that they reading them and then say that they did and they didn't. And then they just cross it off and say they did. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to stay and enjoy this journey with me and see me reading these books and talking about them, please hit that subscribe button and hit that bell notification button so you get notifications every single time I post. February is going to be a busy month, so I hope to post some more videos. And just don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. All of my social medias are linked down below. I have a book Instagram and my personal. You can follow me there. And I have my Medium and Substack that's also linked down below, along with my book Discord. So with all that being said, don't forget to always choose happy, be happy. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.